Now, you're very welcome back. So, I'm not sure our next guest ever intended to be a founder of a GAA club, but that is what he is, all a bit unplanned perhaps. And this new GAA club has come into existence in a part of Belfast, not exactly known as the beating heart of Gaelic games. East Belfast GAA club has come into existence this year. It has won plaudits aplenty right across Belfast and the island. Unfortunately, as well, as you may have seen this week, it has been the target of people very much stuck in the past. At the PSNI, I've had to search grounds. There have been legitimate threats found. Thankfully, nobody hurt and things didn't get too serious, but they are still serious nonetheless. Despite all that, the club played its first hurling game at the weekend. So it's been an eventful time for Dave McGreevy, founder of East Belfast GAA Club. Dave, how you doing?
Not too bad, Joe.
So this is an interesting time, an eventful time in your life. Just give us the brief potted history of your life and times up until East Belfast GAA Club came into existence. I know you were over in London and you played with that London team that made the Connacht final.
Yeah, so I was back 2013, and I played on to 2016, and then I got old, and just the opportunity kind of just came up to move home. So it's come up to 3 years now since I moved home. Initially, I was only really looking at 6 months to see what I thought of it, but as the story goes, met a girl, settled down. I actually got engaged last Tuesday as well, so an eventful week all around.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you moved home. Were you playing any sport in Belfast or just busy meeting the girl?
No, I'm from Connacht, which is about half an hour south of Belfast. So I was playing for my home club, Connacht. So whenever I came back, we were Division 4 and our junior championship as well. So I've got to a good few junior championships with them before, but I've never actually won a championship with them before. So the year I came back, nothing to do with me now, but we did win a championship and we won the league, which was very nice. And then the year afterwards, it was only last season, I was taking the under 16s, and then I got asked to take like a local team as well. So I was in coaching them and still doing a bit of playing. So this year, I'm trying to retire, but failing miserably at it. And then, I've went and started this club, and you can't really start a club and not play for them. So I'm playing away for them. That's kind of doing a bit of coaching now as well. I'm meant to be coaching tonight. The Connacht Miners are meant to be playing against Unraked down in Kilkeel tonight, but I don't know if I have a team, so I'll go.
How did this club then come into existence? Why East Belfast? Are you living close now to East Belfast, or are you still you're south?
So my fiance is from East Belfast, and my friend Richard, who's the co-founder, myself and Richard both play rugby for Estonians, and Richard's wife and Nadia are both from East Belfast, so I'm kind of based up here now. So we were kind of chatting about would it be nice to have a GA club in around here that we could send our kids to, because in our own lives, I suppose it's cross community. It'd be nice if it was just cross community, and we can kind of maybe start a under 12 team and bring them up. But just sent out that tweet, and it's exploded. And we're still getting. I mean, every day you're talking about 24 people just contacting us. Can I join a team? But we have a good structure set up. So whenever I get these now, initially at the start, I was kind of logging them all myself in an Excel sheet. But as soon as we got our validated and affiliated with the GA and down GA, we got our official emails. So I have a team set up now where if people are coming in and want to join, I can send them out to the ladies football or the men's football, the camogie and hurling. So all coming together.
And Dave, when did you first send out that tweet looking for people who were interested in a GA club in East Belfast to get in touch? When was that?
10 weeks ago yesterday.
And your phone lit up that morning?
It did, yeah. Although I don't have social media on my personal phone, so I just had it on my other phone. So it was a Sunday and I wasn't working, so I didn't really have to look at it. But it was just going crazy all day, and it kind of hasn't really stopped for the whole 10 weeks of this year. Just every day the phone is just going crazy. Just with different getting in contact, looking to join, and it's not even ones looking to play. There's a lot of ones. So East Belfast is quite affluent, so you have a lot of people living in this part of the city that are kind of from legal backgrounds and accountancy background professionals, and they're able to offer serious skill sets. So when you have people like that putting their hands up, you can just delegate jobs out to them, and we have an interim board set up. I mean, way at the start, just we got serious. I was incredibly lucky to get these here people and get them in contact. Just absolutely fantastic. We put together like a 6 to 8 week agenda. We worked our way through it. We actually worked our way through it very quickly, and we're kind of now we're at the phase. How do we do our AGM? We're meant to do it last week, but just couldn't. Last week was last week. So we do, and we do have a lot of people kind of putting their hands up for the different board positions. So whenever we have that AGM, I mean, we've everything kind of set up to do our 5-year plan, and then look at our 10-year plan, and whatever else, and just show that we're a sustainable club.
Yes. And as I understand it, I saw Malachy Clerkin writing in the Irish Times, and he was making the point that really East Belfast hasn't had a GAA club in a long time. St. Columkills he mentioned in the early 70s. I think that folded. The father of one of the players was killed in a pipe bomb attack, which, it brings the reality of the situation to the fore. Now, that was a different time, clearly. To generalize for a moment, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm operating here under generalities. West Belfast, 90% Catholic. East Belfast, 90% Protestant, hence no GAA club, not welcome, people aren't interested. What's the reality on the ground in 2020 when it comes to that whole area?
We've had support from the entire East Belfast community. Everyone across the board. People from here are playing for us. I think it's a bit unfair on how East Belfast, and I would say as myself, whenever me and Richard started this here, we were looking to get an under 12 boys team together and maybe enter a team there next year. But with the amount of people that got in contact, it challenged my perceptions of East Belfast, and actually it's not how it's advertised, and it's actually a very progressive part of not just Belfast, but Northern Ireland and this island. It's people just reaching out, and even there was a few incidents happened up above, and the groundkeepers straight away over this, just, are you okay? You guys are very welcome here, and just made us feel more than welcome. And it's the same, everyone in the community kind of did rally around us, and I got emails off a lot of people I really didn't expect to get an email off, just supporting us and calling this here out. And it's maybe it's something everyone kind of needs to look at it. Like, East Belfast is advertised as this, where actually it's not that. It's completely something else. And this is maybe just the right time to start a club, so everyone can avail of the opportunities that GAA brings people.
And so people getting in touch to join, were they largely, and again, I couldn't tell you which of my friends are religious and not religious, and who believes in God and who doesn't, and all that kind of stuff. So it feels almost antiquated to be talking in these terms, but you'll forgive me. Were the people getting in touch largely maybe Catholics or of that tradition living in East Belfast, and we're thinking, well, great, now I have a GAA club in my vicinity? Or did it extend to those of a unionist persuasion who had never anything to do previously with the GAA club and thought, oh, interesting, I'll give it a try? Who was coming forward?
A whole mix, because there's never been this part of East Belfast, there hasn't been a GAA club in 50 years. So you have people from all backgrounds that have never played before. It doesn't matter what religion they are. Getting in touch, but you were getting weird emails saying, I'm a Protestant, can I join? Yes, like, yeah, well, that's what it's about. Like, go and join.
Isn't that terrible that someone had to send that email?
Yeah, but that wasn't once or twice. That's a good few times, and you're still getting it now.
I guess they may feel, look, we're not welcome here.
Well, not at all now. Everyone kind of, well, if you look at myself and Richard, we weren't really that. If you're going to get into it, we weren't really that. We didn't discriminate, and we were choosing our life partners, I suppose. So I suppose it's the ethos of the club, but not that it was intentional, but it seems to be people joining the club just don't really look at the world that way. And I think that's like the majority of people just don't really, like you're saying this here and you don't even want to say the words. And same with me, like, who looks at the world like that, realistically? So that's the kind of people we're getting joining. When we're having kind of different jokes about it. There's one of the guys plays for the football team, and he was saying way back when he was playing rugby in school, he was playing against Bangor Grammar, and they turned up, and all these guys were, massive beasts of guys. And so the joke is now every time we're playing against the team, we're always just like, lads, it's not Bangor Grammar we're playing here, like, so we're just having wee jokes like that at the moment.
Well, that's amazing, and I think that was definitely the founding principle. This is cross community. This is Northern Ireland in 2020. Like, the notion that we would be discriminating on grounds of religion or your political views belongs very much in the past. So fantastic. And in terms of being officially recognized, do you have to go to GAA headquarters, down GAA? Is it a difficult thing to kind of get over the line, or how does all that work?
It is an incredibly difficult thing to do. But I would say Sean Og over at Down was fantastic, giving us a hand. And I haven't really reached out to that many people. I could literally count in one hand how many people I've reached out to. I've had so many ones from GAA HQ, from Ulster GAA, Down GAA, and actually Antrim as well, and Belfast, just reaching out. What can we do? How can we help? So there is a whole process you do have to go through. You have to get 15 signatures of players that are going to play, and that's how you do your validation. But that has to go to a county board meeting, so you get affiliated. So there's 48 clubs in Down now, whereas before us there was 47, and every single one of them we'll have these guys in.
Right.
We'll affiliate them with Down. So the support has been fantastic, but the registrations and transfers are a different story. And the hurling and men's board are the same. So you do your transfers through that, and you do registrations through that. The ladies board's different, and the camogie board's different, and again the transfers and the registrations are different again. So for the men's, and this is so boring, but this has been my life.
I do figure, however progressive we get, interclub transfers in the GAA will never be made easy.
And there was a thing way at the start as well. We need to get a clergyman to sign transfers, and there was different.
You need to get a what? Did you say clergyman?
Yeah, you had to get a clergyman if there's an objection. So this kind of came up that if someone has an objection, and then there's different ones in our board not from a GAA background, and they were saying, well, I know the vicar, and I was just like, no, it's only for an objection. No one's going to object transferring to us realistically. Well, you would hope so. We haven't had any yet, but fingers crossed.
Right.
So I was just like, no, and you're trying to update. I mean, when I was talking to Linda initially, I was saying about being our club president.
Yeah, this is Linda Irvine.
Yeah. So she was asking about, I'm very busy, I don't know, and I was just like, it's a handy one, Linda. You get all the plaudits and none of the work. So you can, if you want to step up and do a bit of work, you're more than welcome to. But it's really it's handy. And I was explaining to her as well about the politics involved in GAA clubs, and she couldn't really get her. She didn't believe me to start off with, and I was just like, no. But she's kind of she's getting used to that. There's a whole new level of bigotry in the GAA world.
Well, thankfully that's not unique to East Belfast. That's everywhere. And what about facilities, Dave? So, I mean, you're starting effectively from nowhere. Did I read a rugby club nearby gave you some pitches or gave you access?
Yeah, Malone, fantastic. They got in contact with us. They were great guys. But it's not going to work. You're not going to fit a GAA pitch onto a rugby pitch, so it's not going to work. There is other options, but it's very slow getting something done. Um, we do desperately need one, with our memberships. There is the whole, I suppose one of the kind of reasons for us joining, obviously there's physical benefits of playing Gaelic sports. There's also the mental health ones, and just the way the world is right now. Like, you'll have kids there next year and they're not going to be getting PE in schools. So we would love to have the children's, subcommittee set up for them and doing our coaching and everything. And
Mm.
you need to have safe facilities for that. You can't just do it in a park. And we are chatting to different ones to get that sorted. It's been slow.
Okay.
Whenever, and even kind of last week was like, that was a park we were training in. We were finding it very difficult to book anywhere. We still haven't got a bank account because no banks are opening up new applications. But the GA's kind of helped us out a wee bit in getting that moved along, because we were in a queue of 50,000 at one point.
Right.
But it's still not done, and it's difficult to book public spaces if you don't have a bank account. So we're actually just paying for that ourselves at the moment. Just the board. We're not going out to members or anything and forcing them to fork out any money. Like, literally, the board is just paying for everything at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose whenever we do have the bank account, we can get the membership in, and then we can be a bit more steady. But you're talking like East Belfast is, what's it? There's about BT3, the BT6, so that's 4 postcodes. That's a huge area, and it doesn't have a Gaelic pitch. So we kind of need to get something sorted. We're chatting to Belfast City Council about it, and they were saying about, you can't have a home. We're not in the business of setting up a home ground, and you're just like, well, if we get at least one GA pitch in East Belfast, surely it should be open to any GA club in East Belfast can use it. And they're just like, so if we get that done, it'd be great. But it just takes the time, or it takes a while.
Yes, I'm sure it does. So you have, I presume, a busy enough life, married, or, your job, or all the things that we're all busy doing, and you've taken this on, and it's clearly incredibly time consuming. You obviously feel it's very worthwhile and very important, and will be beneficial to the community as well. Is this increasingly where Belfast and Northern Ireland is, cross community? Look into the future. You've talked about your personal life there. Is that part of the drive here? Because this, to give up this much time and put this much effort in, it can't just be a casual, oh, it'd be nice to play Gaelic football. It would seem to me it's a bit more important than that to you.
I have a good team around me. I couldn't have done this by myself.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm just delegating out a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Even just everything. I have fantastic people who got involved here. So just anything coming in is straight away. If I like what I'm doing for the club, I am secretary, but literally I get an email, and there's someone I just send that across to that's already put their do that kind of job. The only kind of real job that I have to do is play centre half back, or maybe coach a session if Shay isn't about, and that's really it.
Okay.
And obviously just the odd smart ass comment in the WhatsApp group, and that's my job.
Okay, so it's manageable. It's manageable. 10 years time, I guess you'd like this to be thriving and to be, to have grown from all those principles that you had at the start. I know you don't want to dwell on it, and I understand that. So the events of the past week are more than a minor inconvenience. They make headlines. The PSNI have to get involved. We have Jonathan Roberts saying that these are sectarian hate crimes. He's urging anyone who was training with East Belfast, or anyone else who had parked a vehicle at the playing fields or surrounding area, to check on and around their vehicle and report anything suspicious immediately to police. That is out there. That's a scary thing for people. That's an off-putting thing for people. Were you anticipating something like that happening, Dave?
We did think it would happen a whole lot sooner. But now that it has happened, I'd say PS and I are dealing with it. We're still doing our cross community thing. We're sport, and we're bringing people together, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we'll continue to do. I think the kind of perfection, what makes us so good, is that that's just such a simple thing. and that's all we are. It's a sport and bringing people together.
Mm. Did you have to talk to people, calm everyone down? I'm sure there was a lot of concern.
Everyone reacts differently, and I suppose people are new to it. There was a couple of guys meant to be starting for the hurlers on like last Thursday, and they kind of pulled out, and they're not from a GA background, so that's very disappointing. And I completely understand those guys. Not criticizing them at all. Like, you know, everyone reacts differently, but it's not fair on those guys, and you know, other people that are training with us, that feel that they have to pull out, and it's actually more the people not from a GA background that are more so stepping back, and you know, it's completely wrong that. But we're supporting them. We had like a meeting there last week, and everything's kind of, not everything. You know, you're trying to work to, you know, getting everyone, making sure everyone's right, fine, and you know, there's other people making sure that everything's managed properly and everyone's okay. But I suppose we could always do more in terms of people's mental health and feeling safe. You know, our priority is the welfare of our players and members.
Isn't that such a pity that it's the couple of lads who were never previously involved in GA and thought, you know what, in the spirit of getting involved and cross community and trying something new, let's give it a go, that they're almost the ones that felt they had to take a step back when something ridiculous like last week happens. Like that almost would irritate you more, because they've reached out a little bit, they've made themselves a bit vulnerable, and then this kind of nonsense kicks off and they feel they have to step back. That's really terrible to hear.
Yeah, it is. No, it's very disappointing, and it is, you know, the principle. But you know, you just, I suppose, you just got to crack on. Like, you can't let the wrong people win, and just, it'll take time. Everyone reacts differently, so I'm not at all, I wouldn't criticize anyone. You know, of us guys at all. But we'll see. We've plenty of work to do, and we'll keep cracking on.
And the club played its first hurling game subsequent to all that nonsense last week, did it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Right.
Not that I knew anything about hurling, but it was pretty good.
Excellent. Well, that's good to hear. That's great to hear. So it's fantastic what you're doing. I mean, it's really heartening to see the way it blossomed as well, and people got involved all from one tweet. So we wish you well. Keep up the good work. We might check in 6 months, and hopefully you have a pitch and things are going from strength to strength. So Dave McGreevy, one of the co-founders of East Belfast GAA Club. Dave, thanks a million. Great stuff.
Thanks, Joe.